Welcome back, everybody, for another edition of Henny Goes Outside. We're currently on our way to the Mower Basin area again in West Virginia. Curiosity's getting the best of me, and I want to know if there's a campsite on top of that one mountain that I kind of pointed out at the end of the last video. So we're going out there, and we're going to see if there's a way up there, and if there's any campsites available that we can maybe stay at. I know in the other video I did say that the next video would be coming to you from Virginia, but leading up to the weekend, which that would have been for the 4th of July weekend that I would have went out, leading up to that weekend, one of my college friends, fraternity brothers, you know, my best friend, he ended up sending me an invite to his family's 4th of July get-together. So Liz, myself, and Kelso, we all went there instead of me going out camping for the night. So yeah, we did a little, I guess they did some fireworks, and they smoked a couple of pork butts for some pulled pork and stuff like that. That was a pretty fun night. Everybody came back, as far as I know, everybody came back with all their fingers and toes. But yeah, we're going out there again. I have a couple of new items with me that I'm testing out. I'll go over that a little bit more once I get there. But yeah, we're on our way. At this point, we're probably about an hour and a half away before I get there. I've done all my stops. I've got my gas. I've got my food and all that stuff. So it's just getting out there and finding the spot. I will bring you guys on back once I arrive, and we're starting the setup. All right, everybody, I drove to the end of the track, and there is I don't know if this would be 2 campsites or if it's just, you know, somebody came out here and decided, you know, to build their own separate fire pits in different spots. The trail essentially ends. The Forestry Service, I don't know if you can see it down this way, but there's a rock down here, like a couple of bigger rocks that they threw down to keep people from driving in there. And then over here, there's the same thing going on right there. So they're making it so people can't drive down this way at this point in time anyways. If I'm being honest with you, I think I can find a better spot personally, or I don't know if I can or not. Something tells me that if I leave this spot and come back later, it'll still be here because it was definitely down the track a ways. So I think what I'm going to do is turn around, go back and go the opposite direction and see what happens. I mean, it's only 1 in the afternoon right now. So for me, I still have plenty of time to find a spot and set up. Plus, I don't think the setup today is going to be too difficult. I was hoping to find maybe like a more shaded spot. Also, like the view. I mean, this is only that's really the only view that I have currently. So I think I can find better. I think I can do it. So we're gonna press on and see what we can get. All right, so I'm making my way back down there. I honestly don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this, but right, yeah, it's probably not gonna show up very well. Well, like right over there, I guess I'll know whenever I'm editing it. Right there is where I stayed at last time, right about there. So that's spot 13 right there. Welcome back in, everybody. We did it. We finally found the spot for the night. Super excited for this one. Even though it is kind of in an open area, I am gonna have to set a tarp up to get myself some shade here. Luckily the heat wave is over and it's no longer 95 degrees outside. I think it's only about 88. Oh, I guess it's 82 in this area. Back in the Pittsburgh, I think it was supposed to be like 88, 89 degrees today, compared to the 98, 99s that we were getting probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point. If you recall, on the last video, I said the only thing that I might like more than a mountain view is a water view. Well, here, I'm going to have both. I mean, take a look at that. That's just a little glimpse of where we're at tonight. I'll definitely try to break out the drone and get a little survey of the land here and kind of give you guys a better idea of what it looks like all around here. One thing that I did notice in some of the spots that I was running through, because I probably came across at least a half a dozen spots. There's definitely a couple I'm going to come back to in the fall and the winter, just because of you know, like right now it wasn't a spot that I wanted to be at, but I definitely feel like it would be a good winter or a fall spot when it's a little bit cooler outside. And maybe even if like there happens to be some snow out that particular day that I'm out, it would make for a really pretty video. But yeah, I'm gonna get everything set up. Once I get done with that, I'll bring you on back. Enjoy the time lapse. All right, welcome back. I did mention I got some new gear, so I wanted to go over all that before I did the setup real quick. For those that care about the new stuff, actually, when I was pulling everything out, I realized I bought a few more things than I thought I did. So one of the first things I got is these little inflatable lights right here. A lot of this stuff that I'm going to show you is what I bought for the future backpacking trip that I want to do. So these things are pretty lightweight. You know, they smash on down pretty small. So I'm going to see how well these work tonight. They also got like a little solar panel on them, so if you're just out there hiking or whatever, you can just leave them out in the sun to charge. I've already charged them. I actually plugged them in and charged them. So we got those. Another thing that I bought, and the reason why I got it is because it was super cheap. And also, like, for the backpacking tents that I was looking at, you know, it seemed to be in about the same weight, plus, you know, the brand I like. So whenever they had this on sale for, I think it was either $97 or $107, I had to get it. So what I'm talking about is I got the Naturehike Mongar 2 tent. So this is what I'm gonna test out tonight. Hopefully it works out well, because this is what I'm planning on taking with me on the backpacking trip whenever I do that. It also came, for the price, it also came with a footprint as well. Another piece of gear that I bought for the future backpacking trip is this air mat. Lightweight, packs on down small. The other air mat I have, I do like it. I've used it for pretty much every video up until this one. The only thing with it is like it doesn't pack down any smaller than probably like 1.5 feet to 2 feet. That, and I think it weighs like 8 pounds, so it's definitely something I wanted to take on a backpacking trip with me. In terms of going on the backpacking trip, I really only need 2 things. One of them's the most important thing, the backpack itself. I'm actually probably going to step into like an REI or something like that, so I can actually see like what a 65 liter backpack looks like, and a 70 liter and all that stuff. Just because, you know, they're expensive, and if at all possible, I don't want to have to go out and buy another one and another one and another one, because those things are, you know, you can find a cheap one for $100, But like if you're looking to get into just like a mid backpack, it's like $200, $300. So I'm gonna take my time with that one, make sure I'm getting the right one. Like I said, definitely go into stores and see what they look like, and then like I know like if you go to REI, they'll let you try it on and adjust it and see how it fits. Obviously, if there's nothing in it, that's not gonna help a whole lot. But anyways, back to the new gear. I bought a new thermocell. This is the battery operated one. I still have the gas operated one, which I'll also set up a little bit later to kind of help, I guess, expand my mosquito repellent footprint. Probably gonna definitely be glad to have this a little bit later because of this water here. I also bought a new fan as well. The other one works great. I have no issues with it, but I definitely wanted a second one, and then this was actually on sale for like 30 bucks, and I see that it oscillates and stuff like that, so I definitely wanted to try that out. The only real issue I'm seeing with it so far is this knob is how you start it, and when I was putting it in the bin earlier today, it got bumped and it started it up, and it started really easy. So that'll be the only real issue with that. But yeah, I believe that's all the new gear for this trip. If anything else does pop up, I'll let you know. But as far as I can remember, this is all the new stuff. But now let's get everything set up. All right, we got the tent set up just in time. It is gently sprinkling right now. I'm gonna try to see if I can get the tarp up, so that way I have something to sit under. I don't know how bad this rain is going to be or how long it's going to even last. That's coming down a little bit harder. All right, so let's get over there and work on getting this set up. I'll bring you back here in just a moment. All right. Subsequently, if that is the correct word for this, it has, like I thought it was going to pick up there pretty hard for a second. Oh no, I can hear it coming across. I can hear it coming over the trees. It might pick up for a moment. Okay. All right, finally got the tarp set up. Not sure how much of that I'm going to keep in the video. If I put it in there, you guys are going to probably get bored and leave. I really need to practice doing that a little bit more. Maybe set it up in the backyard a few times and try to get it done quicker. But it's up now. By the time I got it up, it only rained for maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. But by the time I got everything up, the sun was out again, but we're good if it happens to rain again. And also, we got a sunblock in here now. Help keep us in the shade. Got a high quality glass of H2O here. Oh, that's good. It's good stuff. Sometimes you just need a water. Yeah, rainstorm was something that the forecast said that there was a slight chance of, but I wasn't expecting it. But there it was. It actually felt really good whenever it was hitting me. Like I have rain gear and stuff like that in the truck, but water felt good. I'll have to check the tent. I'm pretty sure it held up just fine. It's not like it was like a monsoon or anything like that. It was just a quick little rain shower. I'm sure everything in there was fine. But it was weird because I was setting up the tent and then I just happened to look over there and I could see like a big gray cloud coming. So I just grabbed my air mattress real quick, the sleeping bag and the pillow, and tossed that in the tent along with the fan. Zipped it up real quick, and it was weird because I literally just got done zipping it up to make sure like all the ventilation would come through, and as soon as I did that, boom, the rain cloud came. Anyways, I'm gonna sit here for a little bit, cool off in the shade, and enjoy the little breeze that's coming across here now. Have a couple glasses of water. I'll bring you on back when it's time for dinner. All right, welcome on back. We're gonna do dinner. Originally, I was just gonna do these. Some jalapeno bratwurst that I got from the local farm back in Michigan called Country Dairy. I was just gonna cook these and have these, but in all honesty, thinking like I wanted something else to go with it as well. So I always bring something like this, like a cup of noodles or ramen and stuff like that, in the event that I want a snack or something like that. So I think we're gonna do this as well. I do believe my water is boiling, so let's turn that off for now. But yeah, we're gonna have some jalapeno bratwurst, courtesy of Country Dairy in Shelby, Michigan, which is where I'm originally from. Also, some cup of noodles. Look at that partial view behind me. You guys can't see it this time, but I don't necessarily have the water in front of me, but a nice little mountainous view. All right, we're finally back with dinner. So like I said, these are beef jalapeno bratwurst. I don't know, we're gonna give it a shot here. Not doing any mustard on this, just to get like a natural flavor for it and see what it tastes like without it. Hopefully my hometown farm doesn't let me down on this. Whew. It's a little hot. And not because of the jalapeno, like, because I literally just got it off the thing. Well, I don't taste so much of the jalapeno in there, but I can taste like the other things that they've put in it. It does probably have like a mild spice to it, but I don't really taste the jalapeno. If they didn't market this as a jalapeno bratwurst, I think it's pretty good. For a jalapeno bratwurst, I'm going to give it probably like a 6. If you're thinking it as like a regular bratwurst, probably do about a 7.5 on it. Their smoked brisket burgers were definitely a lot better. Definitely would get those again whenever I'm in the area. But this is probably going to be a one-time thing. Oh well, bon appetit. We'll catch you around the campfire. All right. I've been just hanging out by the fire. I was actually originally facing the way that you guys are facing. Just kind of hang out watching. Well, can't really see the sunset because of the hills and the mountains and stuff like that, but just overlooking the pond, the mountains. Or if you're my friend, Jess, if she ever sees this, she'll call this a hill. Despite what her husband might say. Yeah. But I mean, it's understandable. She grew up she lived in Colorado there for a little bit, so I understand. I don't live in Colorado, but I lived in Utah, so the mountains out that way are a little bit different compared to here. But still, it's an awesome sight. This is the first video I filmed since June 28th. It is currently July 26th. Yeah, July 26th. So it's been about a month since I've made any videos or anything like that. I was going to go out on July 4th. But my buddy Jake invited me over to his parents' house. Well, invited myself, Liz, and Kels over to his parents' house so we could hang out with him, his wife Jess, their kids, and then like his parents, Shannon and Juan, and then his brothers, and then a bunch of other people that I didn't know that were there. But like, friends and family and all that stuff. So yeah, we went there. People shot off fireworks. As far as I know, they still got all their fingers. So yeah, we went over there and then hung out. We were staying at my mother-in-law's house. Liz was helping out around the house. She just had a knee replacement surgery not too long ago, and she's still recovering from that. Not Liz, my mother-in-law. She had the knee replacement surgery. Yeah, and then we came back from 4th of July. Had to work on Monday, just because of how the seniority and all that stuff works. I couldn't get Monday off for 4th of July weekend. Went to Michigan on Tuesday. Showed Liz and, for what it's worth, Kelso, all the stuff that I would do in Michigan in the summertime whenever I was a kid. Most of it was just swimming in one of the lakes. We took Kelso to Lake Michigan, and I don't think we actually put him in Lake Michigan because it was kind of cold. But he did go in the channel, which was quite a bit warmer. I'm actually going to probably put in a video right about here. We got somebody coming on down the road. I did pull my truck up a little bit so it's easier to see that somebody is in here. Yep, keep going, dude. I wonder if it's like duck season or something like that, because I keep on seeing trucks pulling dogs. So I wonder if it's duck season and people are out there with their dogs and all that. Got somebody else, I think, coming down here as well. They must be up on the main road. But yeah, so went to Michigan, took Kelso to Lake Michigan, went up to Traverse City. Yeah, kind of had like a well, even though we were going places, we were having like a fairly relaxed. You know, what we were there for 6 days. I guess 5 days because we left on Sunday to get back to the grind. So yeah, uh, normally celebrity deaths don't really get me feeling any sort of way. You know, like I feel bad for the families and all that stuff, but like don't really have like any like feelings of loss, I guess, for myself. Um, Except for when it came to Ozzy Osbourne. Um, yeah, just like I remember, like normally he's got a lot of good music, but I just remember like the music that he has, like just times of like sitting in the truck with my dad or of some type of whatever vehicle he might have had at the time, and him putting in like a cassette of Black Sabbath or Black Sabbath coming on the radio. Um, he has a lot of good songs as a solo artist, but you know, so don't get me wrong, but I'm more of like a when it comes to Ozzy music, more of a Black Sabbath person versus the Ozzy solo music. But like I said, he still has some pretty good solo stuff too. But uh, like that reminds me of the time like that Jake and myself we bought tickets to go see Black Sabbath in Indianapolis, Indiana. At the time, we were living in Huntington. Uh, we drove to the concert, watched the concert, and then we were really stupid and decided to drive home that night as well instead of just getting a hotel. But to be honest with you, we didn't really know how far the drive was until we did it. Um, and this was still before like GPS was a big thing on phones and stuff like that. They might have just started putting it on there. Um, and we didn't have a GPS, so it was kind of more of like a like still like doing like MapQuest type stuff um, to get there. But yeah, we did that one night. Got back at like probably 4 or 5 in the morning. I remember it was daylight, and since I had just moved into my new apartment, like literally the day before the concert, like I hadn't hung anything. I don't think I had curtains, so there was like a big old light right outside my window um, that was shining in. So I don't know if it was daylight or if I'm just remembering the light shining in through there, and so I got the curtains up. But yeah, it was a heck of a drive, but also a damn good show. Damn good show. I'm glad I got to see it. But yeah, got me several Michigan beers. The one I'm drinking right now is Wheezin' the Juice. Ugh. This one I had prior to buying it um, on this trip that I went on. Last time I went to Michigan in December 2023, I think it was. Um, my uncle gave me one of these to drink, and it was delicious. So on the way back, we actually stopped at a store and bought some there. And then on this last trip here, went to the grocery store and seen a 6-pack sitting there, so I bought it. I didn't bring all 6 of them. I think I only brought 2 with me on this trip, but I did get some other Michigan beers. This one's from Pigeon Hill Brewing. It's a salted caramel porter. That's in Muskegon, Michigan. That's actually probably 20 to 30 minutes from where I grew up. This one's Big Lake Brewing, Cerveza del Lago. It's a Mexican lager. I think this one's in Holland. Yeah, that's Holland. Holland, Michigan is probably 2 hours from where I'm at. or from where I grew up at. This one, Grand Armory. I think this is Grand Haven. Grand Haven might be like an hour and a half from where I grew up. I also brought some more zombie dust. Still had a couple of those. I don't know if I have anything else in here. We'll know, like, other than I have a couple of Sprites and then I have some Red Bulls in there for tomorrow. But yeah, this beer is delicious. Tastes like juice. But yeah, just gonna hang out by the fire, drink some beers. If anything super cool happens, bring you on back. Scooby-Doo bop bop ba-doo ba-doo boop. I know at least one of the cameras is getting this because of the microphone. Scooby-Doo beep beep ba-doo ba-doo bop bop ba-dee-dee-dee-dee. I'm the scat man. I did it. I stood 12 times during 12 different hours. I win the Apple Watch games. All right. Don't know if I'll use this as a nightcap or not, but just wondering, like, what's some of your guys' musical influences? You know, like, who did you grow up listening to as a kid? Like, I've already told you, like, growing up, as like a younger kid, like driving around, you know, like if I was in the car with my dad, he was listening to the classic rock stuff like Black Sabbath. I remember hearing a lot of Led Zeppelin growing up, and then just the classic rock station in the area that I lived at. Definitely like some classic rock music. I've seen Black Sabbath in concert, seen the Rolling Stones. I guess in terms of classical art, like classic rock artists, that's probably it for that. But like my primary musical influences and stuff like that when I was growing up were like Korn. Still love them to this day. Deftones were my favorite band for the longest time. Not so much anymore. But I mean, if you put the Around the Fur album out there, Adrenaline, White Pony. I'm trying to think of the title of the album that came out in 2010. I don't think that album was called Diamond Eyes. I think there was a song on there called, maybe it was called Diamond Eyes. Either the ducks are back or a fish has jumped out of the water. That album was really good. I remember that year was the first year I went to go see, that was the first time I seen them in concert. Saw them in Corpus Christi, Texas. That was a fun show. Real fun show. Yeah, but like I grew up on the new metal stuff. Whenever about 2003, 2004, I was getting tired of that new metal stuff, and I started venturing into like the more of the punk music and stuff like that. Are you something jumping out of the water? Or are you floating around in there? Anyways, so that's when I started going into like the punk rock stuff, and even like I guess like the alternative stuff at that time as well, emo music. But yeah, that kind of stuff I still listen to this day. Like if I was able to keep the sound and like the videos when I'm driving, a lot of times I'm listening to either Lithium, Turbo, Octane, I miss the Faction Punk channel that used to be on there, and I know they still have it through like the like if you do the app and stuff like that through satellite radio. But yeah, what was that, like 10 years ago when they took that off and they put it on the app. And I guess if you have like I know some people have radios that actually go into like the higher channels like that. I think like I don't remember one time somebody had a channel like a Sirius XM radio in their car and they were playing Faction Punk and they weren't using the app on their phone. So I guess they had like an ability to get there. But yeah, I definitely miss the Faction Punk channel. I think they swapped it out for, what did they swap it out for? Did they just take it out and not bring it back? But yeah, that's some of my musical influences. Let me know like what you all grew up listening to. I guess what you're currently listening to. One of the things I'm currently listening to, I guess one of the newer artists, even I think they've been around for at least 10 plus years as well, but they just kind of broke in the States probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Electric Callboy. I don't know, like they got like the dancey beats to it, but they also got like the metal guitar riffs to go with it. So I think that's why I like it so much. It's faster paced with like the dance beats, but then also got that metal guitar riff with it, which like I know like industrial acts have done stuff like that before, but it's just something different about how they're doing it. Also, they for the most part knock out their music videos for a dying art form of music videos. They put like somebody put some thought into it to make them good. But yeah, let me know what you guys are listening to, what you grew up listening to, things that your parents passed on to you music wise. And I'm going to throw some wood on the fire. All right, welcome on back, everybody. I'm currently in the tent, as you can see. Yeah, so far the tent is meeting all my expectations. So yeah, that's good. What is it? Not the best at saying this word. The vegetables, the vegetables, if you will. Outside they're pretty decent space. Like this one over here, I have my cooler under it. Actually, I could probably unzip this and push it back that way a little bit so the cooler's not so close to me. So the cooler fits in there, so it's definitely enough room for like a bag or a backpack in there whenever I do the backpacking trip. But in all honesty, there's enough space on this side of the camera where I could probably put the bag there as well, and it'd be fine. Got all kinds of, you can't see it behind here, but there's all kinds of junk. I got the Jackery. I've got my one fan over here that's actually not on because I don't want the wind sounds come over there. Got the one oscillating fan down there, and that feels really nice. Definitely happy with that purchase as well. But when I had this one on earlier before turning the camera on, it was feeling good in here. It's definitely going to help with any possible condensation on the inside, but I won't be able to give it a fair condensation review just because of the fact that I have the fans going. But yeah, because I guess of like the location with the pond and all that stuff and the air getting cooler, there is definitely some condensation on the outside. Even because I had the sleeping bag and like the air mat and all that stuff kind of pressed against this side, and I had everything rolled back. It did kind of like the edge of my sleeping bag's a little Slightly damp down there in the footbed area, but it will be okay. It'll be all right. But now that everything's closed off, should be good for that. These lights are fantastic. If it wasn't for me doing the video right now, I'd only probably have one of them on. One of them is more than enough light for me. I don't know how long they'll last though, but I'm probably not going to be up long enough to find out about it. I know I said I'd do a nightcap, but to be honest with you, I'm probably not going to do that. I did talk about some music stuff that maybe I'll substitute that for the nightcap for the night. But yeah, I have to remember that because like I know I said I wanted to start that on the last one, and gotta make some topics. If you have any nightcap topics, put them in the comments. But yeah, I think I'm gonna maybe play Steam Deck for a little bit, probably 30 minutes to an hour. I am feeling pretty tired. I was up at 5 a.m. this morning. For no apparent reason. Probably just because that's what usually happens during the week, so it's happened on the weekend as well. But yeah, I'm probably gonna turn in here momentarily. And then tomorrow we'll break everything down and head on home. Alright, unless something extraordinary happens, good night. Good morning, everybody. Just getting up here. Finished brushing my teeth and just kind of doing some general maintenance things. Got like a couple of the smaller things packed away, like the at least one of the fans. Clothes and stuff like that are all in the truck now that I'm out of the tent. It's a beautiful morning out here. I don't know how accurate it is, but when I look at the watch here, from what it's getting from the phone, which I don't have any service out here, it says it's 66. The sun is currently hiding behind the clouds right now, so it's making it very nice and enjoyable morning here. We're gonna pack up the rest of the stuff and get ready to head on out of here. And just because everything is wet, just because like being around this water and it cooling down and all that, like there's mildew on pretty much anything and everything. So when it comes to like the tent itself, I'm just gonna pack it in my bin. Gonna pack the tarp in the bin. Gonna wipe down my table and try to get that as dry as possible before packing that away. But yeah, we're gonna pack up and get out of here. Once we're done with that, we'll come on back for some closing comments. All right. Maybe a slight change of plans here for a few moments. It has started to rain. Literally just as I started to put things away, it started to rain. So we'll give it a few moments and see what happens. Might have to put on the old rain gear to get everything broken down. And I guess I could go inside of the tent and get that stuff packed away. But I said we'll give it a few moments. We'll give it a few moments here. All right, we're packed up and ready to go. We're gonna hit the road here and head back into the Pittsburgh area. I want to thank you all for spending another Saturday with me out here in the woods. If you did like what you watched, please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Anything like that would be appreciated. Until the next one, I hope you all have a good couple of weeks, and we'll catch you then.